What's going on, everyone? So the Los Angeles Lakers have some real needs. Obviously, the biggest need is health, right? Like, they just need to get healthy. They need to get guys back, see what this team can actually do fully healthy, with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves out there, with, just the defensive pieces, the offensive pieces, right? Like Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, right? Like these guys, can they actually be contributors, or are they guys that you just need to kind of ship out? But look, Lakers have clear needs beyond just health, right? And I've talked about it, right? Made videos about it. In the off season, we talked about it. At preseason, we've talked about it. Lakers need athleticism. They need defense and two-way capability, particularly out on the perimeter. But in my opinion, I think the Lakers have to, at this point, trade Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and Daltpn Knecht. I think those three guys can't be on the roster come trade deadline. Now, couple things. One, no trade is better than a bad trade, right? Just because I think you need to turn those guys into something doesn't mean that you go and you sell the farm to get off of those guys or anything like that, right? They're expiring contracts. Worst case scenario, you just don't play them or whatever, or you just play them in spot minutes, and then they fall off the books in the offseason, right? I don't want to make a bad trade that sets us back or anything like that, right? So again, no trade is better than a bad trade. Continue to be patient, continue to be smart with your kind of selections and whatnot, and let the patience continue to pay off for you, right? All of those things matter. All of those things are factors. But a couple other things, right? One, I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh yeah, of course, trade your trash for somebody else's treasure type thing. Again, that's not what this is, right? Like, I'm not expecting the Lakers to go and trade those guys and get Giannis or anything like that. But there are circumstances, there are contexts, especially with the new CBA, there are situations that are going to present themselves that the Lakers are going to be able to capitalize on, right? For example, all of those guys are expiring contracts, and that gets you like $25 million in expiring contracts, right? So there are going to be teams that are going to want to retool and get off of guys and anything. And I'm not saying that they need to go and get necessarily an elite guy, right? Ideally, if you could go get a starting level 3 and D, even if it's just like an Andrew Wiggins or something like that, that would be fantastic. But even if you just took Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, and Daltpn Knecht, and turn those three into just one kind of quality rotation player, just a guy off the bench that can come in and actually give you real contributions, that would do wonders for this team. Imagine the Lakers having one more guy, right? And I've talked about the basketball more than any other sport. One guy can be the difference maker because there's so few on the court at one time, right? So one guy can completely change a team in ways. Then you add in 2, 3, so on and so forth. Look at the Lakers this season. They turned Dorian Finney-Smith into essentially DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, and a Marcus Smart. And Lakers are appear much better despite injuries and everything like that. And those three guys have been huge contributors for this Lakers team, right? You look at Dallas when they went to the finals. People forget, like, they were a team that was, hey, are they going to miss the play-in again? Right? Because they missed the play-in the previous year. They were not looking very good. And then they ended up trading for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford, and the team completely changed. Two guys went from, are they going to make the play-in, to they went to the NBA Finals, and they didn't go to the NBA Finals as a 2 seed or something like that. They were like, I think the 5th seed that year, 5th or 6th seed. Right? So again, don't underestimate the value of a guy. You're talking 25 million. There's a team that's going to have a $20 million guy that they want to get off of, or, maybe several teams. Maybe you can turn, couple guys into things, right? Like, you get a team like Portland that's like, hey, we want to turn, we want to get something for a Matisse Thybulle. Or, you talk about, Brooklyn Nets team. They have, Haywood Highsmith and a couple other guys. They're like, hey, we'd like to get something for them, right? Like now maybe you're turning Gabe Vincent into Matisse Thybulle, and you're giving up, a pick swap or something, and then you're turning a Maxi Kleber into a Haywood Highsmith, right? Or maybe you can even get a Dayron and a Haywood Highsmith and give up Knecht or something like that, right? Like now you're getting a guy, or a Zaire Williams, right? Something like that. Now you got kind of these pieces. Now you got multiple pieces that can actually be contributors. Now, obviously, like, since I use Matisse Thybulle as a reference point or example, right? Best ability is availability. Another reason why you need to get off of these guys is they can't stay healthy. Well, not in Daltpn Knecht's case, and we'll touch on that here in a moment, but particularly with Gabe Vincent and Maxi Kleber. Best ability is availability. The two guys cannot stay healthy at all, right? Like Maxi Kleber played the other night. We'll see kind of how he progresses, but he's not a guy that's been a model of health. Gabe Vincent, for whatever reason, although last season he played, 70 games, I think, but he's a guy that just keeps dealing with injuries. And, you're seeing guys like Bronny James, Nick Smith Jr., like these guys who are younger, who are contributing, who are building confidence with this team, who are more long-term answers. I just think if you can turn a Gabe Vincent into something, especially with Marcus Smart and Jared Vanderbilt, right, I think you do it. And then with Daltpn Knecht, he just continues to be lost, and he's getting the minutes, and he's getting the opportunities, and he's getting the shot attempts, and he's getting all the things that you would want to give him for him to kind of figure it out and turn it around, and he just cannot seem to find it. He cannot find his way, and he just continues to be lost out there. And I just think you need to get off of him. There's a team that will take a flyer on him. There's always a team that thinks that they can do better, right? There's always a team that's looking at it the way we're all looking at it, as like the kid's confidence is just shot, right? So there's going to be a team that's going to look at this and go, hey, new environment, new situation, new everything. Maybe he can kind of find his stride again and build that confidence. And he might be able to. It's a very real possibility. And he might end up being great for that team. And we look back and we go, man, we should have never tried to trade him to begin with. But it is what it is, right? We're at this point, at the situation where we got to do something. And I think this Lakers team is good enough as is to potentially hoist the Larry O'Brien. But we have some clear needs. And if you can address those needs and anything, even just slightly closer to being a better, closer contender, right, it is valuable, right? Like, again, this team is very good. We're seeing this despite LeBron not playing at all. Look, I said this in a previous video. If I told you in the offseason LeBron James was going to miss the first 10 games, or plus, more. He's probably going to miss like 15. But if I said LeBron was going to miss the first 10 games, if, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves were going to miss half of those first 10 games combined, the Lakers would be 7-3. People would be telling me how I'm delusional. People would be telling me how I'm crazy and all that. You're just a fanboy, and this is why, no one takes Laker fans serious and blah, 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 blah. Right? But guess what? We are. Right, Lakers have a winning record, and they've been great, and they've looked great despite all of that. You add in LeBron, you add in health, you add in all that stuff, and then if you can go get another key piece or two that can actually be real rotation players, and now you really can go and rely on those guys, and those guys can be big in big moments and big stretches and big spots and all those things. Right, like, yes, this team could win an NBA championship. So if you can turn those three guys, again, I'm not even saying a high-tier guy, a high-end guy. I'm not saying anything that I want to trade trash for treasure necessarily. Again, there's more to trades than just the names on the back of the jersey. People always just want to look at, this guy for that guy. But usually there's a lot more in between, whether it's clearing cap space or the asset that they got, or they're just higher on this young guy, or they're a young team that doesn't need this veteran, or whatever. There's a million reasons why guys or teams trade guys and whatnot, right? Now, again, that doesn't mean that Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, and Daltpn Knecht are the only guys that we can trade, right? Like, if you find the right trade for Rui, if you find the right trade for Jared Vanderbilt, no one is untradeable on this team. I'm just saying, if you can turn those three guys, right, into kind of that one piece, right? If you could turn those three guys into just at least one key contributor, just one guy that can come in, slot in, play a role for you. Like I said, if you take Gabe Vincent, he's making $11.5 million. Max Kleber's making $11 million. Right, so I get you $22 million, and then with a Daltpn Knecht, that gets you to basically $26-27 million. Let's call it $25 million to be safe, because you got to remember, if the Lakers were to do, say, a 3-for-1 swap or even a 3-for-2 swap, they have to have enough salary space to sign a guy to get the roster at least to 14, and then get that 15th guy via prorate. Once we get past I think it's after the trade deadline, they can do that. So now, if you could find that diamond in the rough at the buyout, then that just gives you another guy, right? But also, if you can sign a guy, say you do a 3-for-1 trade and you have enough money to sign two guys, if one or both of those guys become a key contributor or whatever, right? Just get it, puts the Lakers in a position. Like, let's say Nick Smith, right? You bringing him to the main roster spot, right? So he can be a contributor, and then, bringing up a guy or whatever. So now you have your 14th guy. And then with that 15th guy, you get somebody off of the buyout market, and he's able to be a key contributor and change the landscape. Now you just got 2 or 3 guys. Like, now all of a sudden, again, this is a team that could be the difference. Those 3 guys could be the difference, as you're seeing with Marcus Smart, Jake LaRavia, and DeAndre Ayton, right? So to me, Lakers have to find a way, which, look, I trust Rob Pelinka. If anyone's going to get a trade done, it's Rob Pelinka. The guy's made a trade every year he's been in office except for one, and it was the one year that nobody made a trade. Everybody that was available was still available in the offseason, and most of those guys ended up getting traded in the offseason for less than what they would have traded for at the trade deadline. So, again, I trust Rob Pelinka to get it done, but you got to get off of those guys, in my opinion. Anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Helps me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.